it back, do you?
I don't know. I thought that was weird.
Just, I think, and then it sprouted new. I'll just cut it back, but I've never had it do that. I think it got too dry. I didn't water. I kind of think that's what happened, but I'm not
This is
sure.
our herb
Ours?
garden on Kelso. You can straight back there. You can see this little evening primrose. We've historically done a lot of like volunteer plantings. In other words, what comes up is what you let come up. Um, for example, the sedum there is apparently a really good ground cover that keeps the soil loose, and so we have a lot of that. You can see it all along the border there. All right. Coming back, we're wondering. You can see the sage there, not so healthy. We uh, clipped some of it, and then it seemed to die off, which is rare for the sage. It's usually um, so strong and hardy. And then the basil next to it, I'm getting ready to harvest that front plant there so I can put in part of the fall crops. Evening primrose, this, I don't forget what the name of this purple flower is in front. Behind it's lavender there. And then you can see next to the lavender, parsley gone wild, gone to seed. Parsley is, my least favorite herb, but unless I'm making tabbouleh. And then rosemary, which I love. More ground seed. Hen and chicks there in the corner. Those migrate back and forth along that pathway there. And then the bee balm this year, smaller than in past years, but such a hot summer. So who knows? And not as pretty, but it's also migrated. It's usually uh, 2 to 3 feet to the looks to be the west from here. So that's but back behind there where the trellis is, there's a path going on from where that shovel is, and then on back I have to finish digging that up, and then lettuce and coriander, um, way back in the back part of the garden where the tomatoes and peppers are, and then back around the corner to the left you'll see um, that's where Edie's back there planting onion sets or onions seeds, red onions by the way, which I bought some uh, young red onions from the Bronzeville market the other day, and they're quite interesting. Little young red onions, and they're small and red. And I don't know what I was expecting, but there you go. And then in the back there, this is a sycamore tree that volunteered, and like I said, this garden is all volunteer. It seems like sometimes, but we Edie trimmed the trumpet vine yesterday. I'm not filming you, I promise.
Dale.
Edie, Edie trimmed the trumpet vine so that the sycamore could grow because that little beast right there is the cherry trees, which didn't do so well this year. And they've struggled. This cherry tree, I know Edie said when she planted it wasn't supposed to be that big, and it got big quickly. Wasn't supposed to be this big, and um, good cherry several years, but not so much this year. And it's had this thing with it that the leaves start to turn and fall off. It's seemingly prematurely. So we're gonna the sycamore, volunteer sycamore that came up, and then I forget what's next to it. I think she said it's a hawthorn tree, which doesn't grow very tall apparently. But the sycamore tree may replace the cherry tree at some point, and off we go. So yours truly is going to be making a ton of pesto here shortly, and right behind. Let's see. You can't really see it that well from here, but right behind there, the pesto plant, the basil plant, pesto plant. Right behind the basil plant is some stevia, and chewed on that a few days ago. And man, is it! Forget how sweet it is. So that's exciting. And then there's black raspberry bush growing on that trellis right there, but it's not doing so well. So we're thinking about putting like Concord grapes or something there. So now there. This is the first year I've been here in 23 years. One, that I have done anything in the garden, and two, that we're doing a fall garden. Apparently, it's not been the most timely thing to do in the past. So this year, Edie has time, and I have time to even garden, which is um, kind of exciting because I've always wanted to get my hands out in the dirt, but I've never had the energy and or time with working full time. So off we go, right? So that's the tour from my chair in the shade. What's left of the shade here on what's going to be a hot, hot day. My view. I don't even think I can get back far enough so that you can see. This is our ivy wall. Edie has a trellis there that did have Concord grapes, and is now. I love, love, love. There's ivy going all the way across the top of it and down the other side. You can sit up underneath there, and it really kind of is a cool space. I'll show you someday. All right, we'll see you soon.